Hey guys, so I just want to go over, make a video real quick, going over these examples of converting. Um, so we're going to be converting things from like degrees to radians, radians per minute to degrees per second, miles per hour to feet per second, things like that. So I'll just go through these four examples, and then you can follow these when you do your work. If you need to pause the video at any point, if you want to take notes, you should have this conversions example file in your OneNote also, so you can stop and take notes if you want to. So you have a couple conversion factors up here. Also, when you see RPM, that always stands for revolutions per minute. So the first thing we're going to do is change 45 revolutions per minute into degrees per second. We're going to set this up as 45, and I'm going to encourage you to make this a fraction. 45 revolutions per 1 minute. And the key with these when we do these conversions is to multiply by 1. Because we know mathematically we're always allowed to multiply by 1 and doesn't change it. But the 1 we're going to be multiplying by is going to be these equivalences. For example, for 45 revolutions per minute, we want to change that to degrees per second. So instead of minutes, we want seconds. So we're going to multiply by 1, but kind of an interesting form of 1. We know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. So since 1 minute and 60 seconds are the same, this is essentially 1. We can set this fraction up however we want. The way we want to set it up is so that the units that we don't want cancel. Notice we can cross cancel, the minutes are gone. And if we were to stop right now in terms of units, we would have revolutions per second. We want to end up with degrees per second, so we want to change our revolutions into degrees. Well, I know that 1 revolution is 360 degrees. So that's an equivalent thing. So that's kind of like a 1 as well. Again, it doesn't matter what goes on top and bottom. I'm choosing to put revolutions on the bottom so that revolutions on the bottom cancel with revolutions up top. And the only thing that we're left with then is our degrees in the numerator and our seconds in the denominator. So we're going to finish with degrees per second, which is what we're looking for. So we're just going to do 45 times 360 divided by 60. I have that set up here in the calculator. If that opens. So calculus not appearing. Anyway, if you set up the fractions and do 45 times 360 in the numerator and then divided by 60 in the denominator, that's going to give you 270, and it's going to be degrees per second. That's for part A. For part B, we'll do the same thing, but now we're changing our 45 revolutions per minute into radians per second. So I want to change my minutes into seconds because I no longer want minutes, I want seconds. So we know 1 minute is 60 seconds. You'll see the minutes cancel. So we're left with seconds as our time unit, which is good. I'm going to multiply again with 45 revolutions. We know that 1 revolution is 2 pi radians. You'll notice the revolutions cancel. You may have done something like this in chemistry. It's called dimensional analysis. So I'm not sure if you've done that in chemistry or not. Sometimes it's done in chemistry. Anyway, multiply that, simplify. It gives you 3 pi over 2 radians per second. Okay. For the second example, we're changing radians per second into revolutions per minute. So we're going to start with our 100 pi radians per second. We're going to make that a fraction. So the two things we want to change, we want our seconds to become minutes. We want our radians to become revolutions. It doesn't matter which we do first. So we know that 60 seconds is 1 minute. And the seconds will cancel. Notice in the first problem, I had 1 minute over 60 seconds. Now I have 60 seconds over 1 minute. It doesn't matter mathematically which goes where. We set it up so that the units we don't want cancel out. So the seconds cancel because we want to end up with just minutes, no seconds. we also want, instead of radians, we want revolutions. So I know that 1 revolution is 2 pi radians. I'm going to put radians on the bottom because I want the radians to cancel. Okay. Again, notice in the above here, we did 2 pi radians in the numerator, 1 revolution in the denominator. Here we're doing the reciprocal of that. Doesn't matter what goes where, you set it up so that the units you don't want cancel. And we're going to do 100 pi times 60 divided by 2 pi. Again, throw that in the calculator. That's going to give you 3,000. And our units that are left, we have revolutions on the numerator, minutes in the denominator. So revolutions per minute, or RPM. RPM is always revolutions per minute. Okay. Now we're changing 20 miles per hour into inches per second. So 20 miles per 1 hour. Again, we can change the miles to inches, or we can change the hours to seconds. It doesn't matter which is done first. So I'll take care of the time stuff. So we know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So I'm not going directly from hours to minutes. I can go from hours to seconds. I can go from hours to minutes, and then I know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. Again, notice the units that cancel. Hours cancel, minutes cancel. So if I were to stop now, I'd have 20 miles per second. So I have miles per second. I want inches per second. So you have to change your miles into inches. That's where those conversions up top will come in. We know that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So if I know 1 mile is 5,280 feet, then my miles cancel. That's why I put miles on the bottom. So miles cancel. I want inches yet. So from above, we know that 1 foot is 12 inches. So now your feet cancel. And notice what you're left with in terms of units. Up top, you have just inches. On the bottom, you have just seconds. So we're going to get inches per second. And in your calculator, you're going to do 20 times 5280 times 12 over 60 times 60. Again, I recommend setting up the fraction bar in your calculator and putting everything in the numerator, multiply together, and everything in the denominator, multiply together. This gives you 352 inches per second. And the last one, changing 400 yards per minute. We're going to change that into miles per hour. Again, it doesn't matter what unit's done first. We know that 1 yard is 3 feet. Again, set it up so that units you don't want cancel. We don't want yards. We want to end up with miles, so we don't want feet. So we know 5,280 feet is 1 mile. Feet cancel. If we were to stop right now, we'd have miles per minute. We want miles per hour, so we're going to change our minutes into hours. We know that 60 minutes is 1 hour. Again, I'm putting the 60 minutes in the numerator because I want that minutes in the numerator to cancel with minutes in the denominator. And as far as units that have not canceled, we have miles in the numerator, hours in the denominator, so we have miles per hour, which is what we're looking for. Now it's just to the calculator for the numbers. So 400 times 3 times 60 divided by 5280 gives us 13.63 miles per hour. Hopefully those examples made sense. If you still want some more examples, you can probably Google converting or conversions, or changing miles per hour into inches per second, things like that. You can probably find a couple other videos if you still have questions. But again, after seeing those examples, you're going to be doing this conversion worksheet. Just do numbers 1 through, I think it's 12. I'm sorry, 1 through 9. So don't worry about 10, 11, or 12 right now. So just 1 through 9. I believe it's in the lesson plans. I'll put that in the Canvas message I send out also. Answer keys there if you want to check those, but you're just doing 1 through 9. That should be it.